Flushable Wet Wipes by Melissa Howard. So, flushable wet wipes, do they exist? No, they don't. Shocking, really, as they're marketed as flushable. Wet wipes are the cause of 93% of all sewage blockages. Irresponsible companies are costing the taxpayers thousands. Retailers' testing practices clearly aren't vigorous or adequate enough to pass the water and sewage companies' tests. So, my research background. So, unfortunately, I was unable to do an observation due to the subject matter. So, I decided to do focus groups and surveys. I thought they'd be the best way to find out about people's wiping habits. So I wanted to target the people who were buying the wet wipes. So mums, parents, anyone in the household, anyone living on their own or doing the weekly shops. So from seniors to students. My objective was to find out people's wiping and flushing habits, and is it actually possible to try and change this behaviour? So, my research methodology. My 3 focus group consisted of students and middle-aged people, and I had 3 main points for the focus groups. So one was phone usage, and if there was an opportunity to try and communicate the problem through the phone while they're on the toilet. The second focus group was to find out about people's wiping habits and if there's a behaviour that we can change at any point. And then the last one was to gauge the response and get reactions of the wet then wipe way. I also conducted some online research and I did surveys about wiping habits. So if a bin with a bag was provided in their toilet and if it was emptied often and their openness to the wet then wipe way. So, conclusions and recommendations. People are still using wet wipes, but they are looking for alternatives, especially the younger generation who are admittedly more environmentally conscious. So as you can see, I've got the table and I compared the results from millennials to middle age and parents. So as you can see, a third of millennials of the participants are using wet wipes compared to 2/3 of the older generation who I tested. All participants of the millennials and the students were looking for a wet wipe alternative, while 2 out of 3 were looking for an alternative in the out of the middle-aged participants. 5 out of 6 would implement the wet then wipe system at home for the students. And then I got a really good response from the millennials and the student participants saying that it was the perfect environmentally friendly solution, while there were reservations with the older generation calling it a bit of a faff. So we'll have to see. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this presentation.